What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another week of the Endgame podcast here on Nerding with 30. I'm your host, 30 and Still Gaming. How's everyone doing? Hope everyone's doing well. Welcome to another week of the Marvel news. Actually, it's weird because it's the Endgame podcast and it's mostly Marvel news, but we do talk about like Disney entertainment stuff. We do talk about other DC stuff. So we do cover lots of different topics on the show. This is your first time here. We do this every Tuesday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern. We go over a few of the stories from the past week in Marvel. We do a podcast for gaming on Thursday nights that goes over a few of the top stories in the past week, and we rant along the way. This is a solo show where I go across and just talk about the Marvel news and talk with chat. And chat is part of it. You know, we have conversations of the topics that are on at hand. If you'd like to help us out, I did not. I know I said I was. There's no tip still over here because because we're not subscribed. You can't. There's no alerts. There's nothing to hit to get alerted. So that's the reason that it's not up yet. So if you do want to tip or do any of those things, I could probably get. Let me see. I could probably get a link here. No, that's the wrong thing. Because the Discord's got to be a new Discord inside here, and get one of the commands. Yeah, it's gonna be rough. So I'll get it up. I'll get it up for tomorrow. I'll get it up for tomorrow for Book of Boba Fett. So, but if you'd like to support us in any way, shape, or form, you can go to our other channels and hit the subscribe button over there. And I'll put all the links in tomorrow. If you're new here, welcome. So let's guess. Microsoft is buying Disney now. That's right. They're buying everybody. So the first story I want to talk about is, well, I actually want to watch the trailer, but I think I'll wait to watch the trailer a little bit later in the podcast, right? To have more people here to see the reactions and have a little conversation there. What I want to talk about is what they're doing again with Fortnite. Okay, so Fortnite and has Hawkeye skins collaborating with Clint Barton and Kate Bishop skins leaked. Now, I don't know if you can see these, but these look amazing. Okay, now say what you want about Fortnite if you're not a fan of Fortnite, if you don't like the BR stuff, but I said this a couple of weeks ago, I think on Generation X Gaming or my regular stream, right? These guys have more Marvel characters in their non-Marvel game than Marvel games have in their Marvel games. Okay, which is mind-boggling to me. Mind-boggling. That's true. Thank you, Krebsy. It is in the description. Appreciate that. Yeah, this is mind-boggling to me, right? Like, I've been playing Fortnite again for Save the World, and I have to say, I wouldn't mind being Clint or being Kate as I'm playing Save the World. Okay? I wouldn't mind. But look at the skins. They have the Hawkeye skins from the TV show. Now, hence, they're late as well. But Marvel Avengers hasn't come out with the skins yet. Now, I did hear on another podcast I watched last week, I think it was Doomkilla's podcast. I'm not sure what his podcast is called, and I apologize. Johnny Rocker was talking about, he heard something on the backside. There was contractual issues with Marvel and Crystal Dynamics, hence why they didn't get the SpiderMan out there, hence why they didn't get the other stuff out there in time, which again is mind-boggling to me. So not only are they getting this, okay, but they're also getting a Green Goblin skin. Okay. Now, this is another, I guess I know they're just skins on top of the characters and stuff, but again, they do it yet again. Right? There's more content for Marvel in a non-Marvel game than there is in the Marvel games. I don't care what Marvel game you're playing right now. There's more Marvel characters. I think they're up to like 23 characters right now. Okay. I think they're up to 23 characters right now for Marvel. They look fantastic. Let me look up to see how many Marvel skins are in Fortnite. How many Marvel skins are in Fortnite? Let's see. Okay, these are all the skins that have been in Fortnite up to this point. Okay, we have Spider-Man. What's going on, Stealth? What's going on, Milky? Krebsy? Spider-Man No Way Home. MJ No Way Home. We have Spider-Man. We have Nick Fury. Dark Phoenix. Okay, Eddie Brock. Carnage. Shang-Chi. Gamora. Loki. Thanos. Ant-Man. Galactus was in it. Venom. Black Suit. Snowsuit Widow. Ghost Rider. Daredevil. Blade. Silver Surfer. Wolverine. Tony Stark, Thor, Storm, Mystique, Jennifer Walters, okay? Groot, Doctor Doom, Captain America, Psylocke, okay? I don't know. Cable, you have Deadpool, Ravenpool, Cuddlepool, Star-Lord outfit, and a Black Widow outfit, right? And now you're adding Green Goblin, now you're adding Hawkeye, and you're adding Kate Bishop, right? So what do we got? We got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. 35 plus an additional 3. Okay, 38. Okay, 38 Avengers in a non-Avenger game. Mind-boggling. Nope. Doesn't equal content. Doesn't equal content. That's not the conversation we're having, Krebsy. And you're not being a party pooper, right? That's not the content. What I'm saying is characters coming into a game that's Marvel Future Revolution, right? 38 for now, exactly. Okay, this is not about Fortnite not coming out with content. They have content coming in their free to play game. It's a BR, and they're constantly updating it. Okay, Marvel Avengers, who's dedicated themselves to make a Marvel game. They have 9 characters in it, and yet, obviously, I understand these are just skins. I understand they're just skins. They're not move sets or anything like that. Okay? Now, they don't have to make move sets, but having Hawkeye and Kate Bishop in Fortnite, like the cosmetics of the new suits from the show, okay? Fortnite looks, Shang-Chi looks rough. Yeah, I mean, can you click on him and see what he looks like? Look at this. He does look rough. But then again, so is the movie. Right? But let's be honest, though. They look pretty badass, right? We have no, we don't have a skin tracker there, right? They all look great. Why can't we get something like this in the actual Marvel games? So congratulations to Epic for getting more Marvel characters in their non-Marvel game than the actual Marvel game that's out right now. Obviously, I know there's no move sets or stuff like that. But again, it's still cool that they have these characters inside of their world. Okay. So those are leaked. We have the Green Goblin. Again, if you want to see them, we have Green Goblin coming in. And then we have Kate and Clint coming in as well. So there we go. So that's we got there. Okay, we still got that up. Close the Venom one down. That's the first story. What do you guys think? Right? Obviously, there's not move sets and stuff like that, but do we think, and I know we're going to bring this conversation again, do we think that Epic has got bigger plans for all the characters they're using with DC and Marvel and supposedly Teenage Ninja Turtles are coming in and lots of other IPs in there? Do we think they have another plan in the works for all their IP cosmetics and stuff? I mean, think about it. They sold Marvel. They're like, hey, let us use your Marvel skins and let's have guns in their hands. And they were like, yeah, it sounds good. Spider-Man's never held a gun and shot one. That'd be fine. Superman, sure, why not? Right, so let's go from that to speaking of another character coming in. We have a villain coming into Marvel Future Revolution. They just posted it a couple minutes ago. We have Hela, Villain Spotlight. She's part of the new Dark whatever, part 2, I guess, or the next event. So, yet another villain. Speaking of villains, I would love to see Marvel Avengers add more villains to play. If Marvel Avengers and Marvel Avengers and Marvel Future Revolution combined, I think we could actually have a game we all love to play. What if the rumor of Marvel MMO is being made by Epic and we'll use the skins from Fortnite? Isn't it? I love that idea, Cubsy, but isn't the MMO being done by the same company that did the DC Universe Online? Mephisto's going to be there as also. Now, Stealth, I thought you were joking there for a second. Is it part two? Is it part 2? Is it part 2 for that's BlueStacks, Marble. Game overview, community, forms. Mephisto's going to be in the Book of Boba Fett too. Oh wow, they got their more stuff here. All posts, no, noticed, known updates, greetings. Is this it? Events going on. Oh, Marvel Future Revolution notices. Is this the one right here? No, updates. That's 1.2. 1.12. They had a picture somewhere, didn't they? He's in there too. I just want to know, is it the Dark Dimension Part 2? Is that what's coming out? Why can't I find it on there? That's it. This is the Prepare for Darkness event. So this is, I thought this is just the event, not the second part of like where you're leveling up and stuff, right? This is just the other event. We played Thanos, right? And this is the next event that's coming out, correct? They have said it's part 2, but it's safe to say it is. They haven't said it's part 2, but it's safe to say it is. See, what I'm thinking of is that this is the Thanos event, not the other part 2, right? This is that event that came in that we fought Thanos. Now we're fighting Hela, right? I can't compare a skin or a mobile game or an attempt of games of service full fleshed out. Buggy as hell. Game Fortnite also has John Wick skins and every other fad skin. Marvel Future Revolution is a mobile game. Yeah, but what are we talking about, Brain, as far as comparing these skins to Marvel Avengers? I'm just saying that how Fortnite's getting the Kate Bishop skin before the game that had Kate already in it, right? Again, they lose out to the skin to a game that doesn't even have, that's not even a Marvel game, is what I was talking about as far as that. No, that's in game right now. You're prepping for part 2. Okay, but do they say when part 2 is dropping? Did they say when part 2 is dropping? They would have said it was an Epic Invasion. Oh, that's right. That was the name of it. Epic Invasions. Okay. That's right, though. They did show how they did show her and Mephisto in the original trailer, didn't they? And then we just never got her. Epic can throw money at the Marvel better than Sony Entertainment did, or Square Enix did as all. Just like Sony did better with the Xbox and Spider-Man in the game. I guess. I just feel like when you have a game that's not even Marvel, beat you to a Marvel skin that you should have had because you had the character in your game for over a year. I don't know. Just a little weird. Like 7 days when the event is over. Gotcha. I didn't do this Sinister 6. I have all my tokens still left over. I didn't pay for or use them up at all. All right, next story. Next story. We have Fantastic Four reboot movie receives promising update. Even though Spider-Man No Way Home box office numbers continue to make headlines, the film's success is no accident. 2 decades worth of Spider-Man stars in a single film during a pandemic required careful planning and coordination. While the fans don't know when or where Tom Holland's Spidey, as well as the Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire's web slingers, will appear next, it's no secret that John Watt's MCU story is far from over. Still, despite Marvel Studios, President Kevin Feige announced that Watt's attachment to the new reboot into 2020, the film has yet to be receive a release date. But now on the heels of No Way Home's debut, a new report has offered some insight into Fantastic Four's fall's in director's pack schedule. Okay, according to the article, Variety and Marvel Studios' Fantastic Four reboot is likely to be the next film on the director's slate, despite Watts serving as a producer for upcoming Final Destination 6. Seriously? Final Destination 6? Indicating that Marvel's first family movie will be ramping up production sooner rather than later. However, at this time, the Marvel film still has no confirmed release date. In addition to producing Final Destination 6, Variety has also reported that Watts is set to direct a film for Apple Studios starring George Clooney and Brad Pitt. And while speculated that Clooney and Pitt collaborate would be Watts' next directorial undertaking, fans can now expect that his next outing will be Fantastic Four. Does it talk about anything else here? Yeah, okay. Of course, the fans were concerned as what the reshuffling meant for Fantastic Four, particularly since the MCU is also expecting to release Deadpool 3, a new Blade, sequels of Shang-Chi, and potential Eternals. However, if Watts has confirmed a gig with Clooney and Pitt, it is still in Fantastic Four coming in first. MCU fans may be seeing Sue Storm, Dr. Reed Richards sooner rather than later, especially since the rumors have already hinted that 2023 production timeline for the film. So if it's production in 2023, that means it comes out in 2024, right? Due to the fan demand of Marvel's first family, coupled with Watt's growing workload, it's unlikely either the director or the project has been pushed to the back burner. If anything, Spider-Man No Way Home's success likely made Watt's Fantastic Four all more a property for Marvel Studios. So, what do you guys think about that? Fantastic Four, do you think it gets pushed up because of his success with Spider-Man? Or do you think you would think that they would have a plan, right? Set forth as saying that, Doctor Strange, Thor, all these other movies have to release before. So wouldn't it make sense that Fantastic Four is the next or the first film in the next phase, which would be what, phase 5, right? That's the way I'm thinking. I think it'll be the first movie in the next phase. Here's an idea for Crystal Dynamics to introduce the Fantastic Four alongside movie. Well, that would be great if the game was still around in 2 years, right? If Avengers is like a race and they jumped the start but still lost. You know, Marvel Avengers should add Fantastic Four. Mr. Fantastic is basically Kamala. Human Torch is another flying hero. Thing is Hulk, other half. And the hard one would also be Invisible Woman. Which they already have because Black Widow turns invisible, right? So you're right there, Cubsy. They could add all those characters. That'd be fantastic. But fantastic. Fantastic Four will be out March 11th of 2024. What is the... Okay. Marvel Phase 4, right? Phase Bore. All right, so we have Phase 4 is Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Eternals, Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, Thor, Black Panther, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Ant-Man of the Quantum Mania. And then we go into 2023. So then we have Fantastic Four, Blade, right? That's all television. That's all we have. That would be the next, or it's the tail end of Phase 4. That would make sense, right? I mean, think about it. After Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, you have to have Fantastic Four. If King the Conqueror is there, you have to introduce Fantastic Four right after that. Right? Fantastic Four and Blade. What's going on, Gritter? And there's lots of TV shows, but that's all we know. The last movie, we know Fantastic Four, we know Blade, but we don't know actual dates for that. Interesting. And then Phase 5 is not out, right? That's not the thing. So Fantastic Four and Blade are probably going to be at the end of Phase 4. And then Phase 5 comes in. You think it will take to 2024 for Phase 4 to come out? Well, right now, loosely. Obviously, everything got kind of pushed back. Okay. But we have... This year, we have Strange, Thor, Black Panther. Okay. And Guardians of the Galaxy got pushed to 2023, and so did Marvel. So we only have Strange, Thor, and Black Panther in 2022. We have Marvel's Guardians and Ant-Man in 2023 now. So we're talking Fantastic Four tail end of 2023, beginning of 2024. It doesn't go into production until 2023. Yeah, we're gonna watch Moon Knight. Yeah, we are gonna watch Moon Knight. We're gonna watch the trailer. I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen the trailer yet, so I'm gonna watch it on stream. We're gonna wait a little bit. Okay. All right, so Disney Plus. Next story, Disney Plus reveals the new MCU timeline featuring Eternals. Okay. So the timeline of Eternals now fits in between Shang-Chi, Legend of the Ten Rings, and Hawkeye. Okay. So this placement on the timeline lines up and has said prior about Eternals, with Marvel Studios producer Nate Moore previously mentioning that the film occurs around the same time as Spider-Man Far From Home. Spider-Man's second solo outing takes place about 8 months after Marvel Avengers Endgame, placing the world-ending threat of the emergence somewhere in around Peter Parker's trip to Europe. With this in mind, fans now know There's around a 4-month gap between Eternals and Hawkeye, which is the later set of the year after Endgame. Therefore, there may be some room for Marvel Studios to insert some future projects into the time period, such as Ms. Marvel or Moon Knight. Eternals timeline positioning does raise some questions about the narrative being impacted by other projects and how the effects of other MCU entries. Being set so far after Endgame may seem odd considering the blip was said to generate the energy necessary for the emergence to occur. However, perhaps a couple of more Earthlings needed to produce before the god could hatch. Also, the interesting thing is the big celestial head wasn't mentioned at all in Spider-Man No Way Home or Hawkeye, as it's likely would have been pretty big news. It's possible that Peter Parker's identity crisis could have taken over headlines, though. The Hawkeye being set a few months after Eternals may have provided enough time to forget about the horrible thoughts of the giant being lurked underneath the Earth's core. I have a huge problem with this, okay? I have a huge problem with them not... We talked about this last week after... I don't know if it was after this show or after Boba Fett, right? Like, they didn't bring it up. All I needed was Jack and Hawkeye holding a paper talking about after the world devastation, Earth-ending event, and new heroes came about to stop the giant god from coming out of the planet. Something could have said weird storms happening all over the world, could have said big typhoon, new discovered island, something on the television, on the news report, somewhere, something. It doesn't have to be like main stage. It could have just been passing Easter egg, but put something there to know, hey, there's a giant god creature coming out of planet Earth. They said the blip delayed the emergence, bringing them back in Endgame is what set the timeline back for it. No. The Eternals, the god didn't get created until the blip happened, right? The blip turned it off, so it couldn't happen. Then once Hulk snapped everyone back, that's when there was a population growth again. All the people came back 5 years after. So for 5 years, the thing was dormant. It was gonna happen earlier, but then it happened later. They did kind of cover this in Far From Home. They did. They mentioned the giant like head coming out of the ground. Or was it a generic event they talked about? Plus, they're saying that it got delayed, meaning the event got delayed for the god to because of the blip. And then when it came back, it was also still not happening instantaneously. It took months and months afterwards. This reminds me of Don't Look Up. People are more excited on who Spidey is more than a giant space god sticking out of Earth that possibly destroyed Earth. Yeah, the emergence happens with population. The blip slowed it. Then Endgame bringing everyone back set the emergence back to happening. Yeah. The story here says... let me see here. Okay. The blip has said that to generate the energy necessary for the emergence to occur. However, perhaps a couple more Earthlings, right? It says, being set so far after Endgame may seem odd considering the blip was said to generate the energy. Oh, they got it backwards. I see what you're saying. Brain. They're saying the blip caused the energy. No. The blip coming back. The blip is when they disappear, not as they come back. Or I guess maybe it is when they come back as well. Yeah, but they got enough people coming back after the blip. But then the article's also saying maybe people had to have more babies because they were close to the edge, but they weren't that close. And then more kids were born, and then boom, it was close. Which is weird. Because how would they know? Like, how would they know? Because once the blip happened and then they came back, how did the timer know, like, how many more people? You know what I mean? Like, how does the Earth know? How does the gods know there's enough people on the planet? And is it just humans, or is it all life forms? The blip is used that is the time from dissipating to coming back. Correct, but the way the article states it, it says that considering the blip was said to generate the energy necessary for the emergence to occur. Intelligent life only. And magic. Ooh, magic. All right, we're going to wait for that one. We'll wait for that one a little bit. Here's another story right here. Jada Smith responds to Marvel casting rumors with SpiderMan photo. Now that the MCU's slate for projects of 2021 is over, the Spider-Man threequel, the team is preparing for potential dozen new entries in 2022, as it looks to distant future as well, with the new theatrical movies potentially 5 or 6 Disney Plus shows debuting this year alone. There are plenty of new actors set to join the Marvel Studios narrative, although plenty of other roles are still up for grabs. At this point, the swirling of rumors about the next big Hollywood actor beginning in line for place with the Marvel Cinematic Universe have become constant. The latest rumblings suggest that the Marvel CCO has eyes on none other than Jada Smith. Jada Smith responds to Marvel rumors. Actor Jada Smith took to Twitter reacting to the rumors that he's in talks with Marvel Studios for a potential MCU role. In response to the potential talks, Smith shared an image of himself daunting the Spider-Man's mask with Tobey Maguire's solo movies, along with the caption, "What I'm going to try to swing by." Do you think they're going to get him for Miles Morales? I don't know. I would have to... I guess. Sure. Why not? With the actors still need plenty of big-time roles in Marvel projects like John Watts' Fantastic Four, Blade, Marvel Studios' casting department is going to be working overtime to ensure the right actors are chosen. As rumors surround Jada Smith to come to forefront, it's clear that the young star wouldn't mind dipping his toe in the MCU's ever-expanding future. Smith certainly has an impressive resume, despite still only being 23 years old. First becoming famous as a childhood pursuit of happiness more than a decade ago. He also is notably the son of the entertainment icon Will Smith and involves with the DC side of superhero movies, thanks to his role as Deadshot in 2006. With Smith dons a Spider-Man mask specifically, the photo is posted on social media. There are plenty of opportunities for him to take on a Marvel role outside of continuous SpiderVerse. Whether he wants to play MCU as Miles Morales or simply wants to be considered for any open role is a mystery. But there's no denying that it is Marvel on his mind. The franchise continues to grow. Looking at the Marvel's time frame for casting, this may be some time until fans are officially hear which roles Smith may be in line for in a future movie or TV show. All right, well, do we think that he's going for... First of all, why would Marvel cast for Sony's Miles Morales? Right? I thought they already had Miles. Could have sworn I saw a teaser trailer already. Or was it just deep fake? No, live action, they don't have a Miles yet. They have Into the Spider-Verse 2 coming out, which is the animated series that I know of. I think Spider-Man could defeat Boba Fett. Oh, sure. No problem. Anyone. I think I could beat Boba Fett right now, Duke, at this moment. Tom Holland's 25, playing an 18-year-old. Right, I mean, he looks young. He looks young, so I don't see a problem him playing a young kid. A sick child could beat up Boba Fett. I put the teaser trailer in submitted stories on Discord. Is this an actual movie coming out? I don't know. They're weaving footage in from other movies. This is a good edit. I don't think this is real. I don't think that's real. Yeah, that's fan made. That's a good trailer, but that's fan made. Yeah, no, that's not real. No. Video game. No, nothing. That is fake. And this is the this is the short that they did. Who knows? Yeah, that's fake. There's a scene from Power Rangers in there. It's fake. Yeah, yeah. It was a good trailer. Good trailer. Speaking of the next story, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, each dimensions will have its own art style, says Chris Miller. So Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Part 1 is one of the most hotly anticipated superhero sequels of the year, without a doubt, pushing aside even Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. The first two sequels to 2018's Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse has been in the works since before the first film even hit theaters. And the interview with Collider's own Stephen Afterparty, Phil Lord, and Chris Miller spoke about the ambitious sequel as described hitting it, expanding on our fan favorite aspect of the series. One of the most iconic parts of the Spider-Verse is what separates from its multiverse counterpart, Spider-Man No Way Home, was the unique animation style used in the different between Spider People anime for, I don't know why it says Penny Parker? Oh, Penny Parker. Sorry, Penny Parker. Flat black and white for Spider-Man Noir with Nicolas Cage, and a unique 3D animated look for Heroes Miles Morales. All contribute to giving the heroes recognizable looks and stuck with the audience after the film ended. The style was so one of many things that Into the Spider-Verse was praised for, changing the way audience understood the animation can do, and it looks like that Laura Miller planned to stretch the limits even more. Okay, so Tom Holland would be in the film after pressing interests, also hopefully meaning that he could on the right track with the hunch. They did reveal something else about the direction of the upcoming film. While we knew from a brief trailer that Miles would be visiting other universes and running into Oscar Isaac's Miguel O'Hara, and the direction revealed that each universe will be distinct as the characters with different animation styles corresponding to each branch of the multiverse, according to Miller. Okay. He says, the ambitious sequel because we don't want to just sort of do the same thing again. So the idea that we're going to different dimensions really opened up the opportunity artistically to have each world have its own art style and to be able to push the folks at ImageWorks to develop a way to have each dimension feel like it was drawn by a different artist's hand. Seeing the development of the stuff breathtaking, and really it's the reason we keep doing because of it. Lord described also working across the Spider-Verse as well as their work on projects like The Mitchells and The Machines, which was a good movie, I liked it, as attempting to push the animation in direction it hasn't gone yet, and also can fairly safely say that the duo has also accomplished that, creating a film with Into the Spider-Verse that looks like it was ripped directly from the pages of the world's greatest comic books. The animation style can also be expected to see that when Cross the Spider-Verse hits theaters, no one knows though, it'd also be a brief look into more traditional two-dimensional universe in the film's opening sequence. Miles in the multiverse hopping finds himself tussle with Spider-Man in 2099, who has teased during the end credits scene into SpiderVerse. Will the two get along, or will it be disagreement rip a hole in the fabric of the multiverse like the live-action counterpart Peter Parker? Can only hope to the former. So there you go. So that's cool. They're going to be doing different art styles for each of the dimensions, which I think is pretty cool. I really like the animated movie. I thought it was great. Hold the theory. We have a multiverse story. All right, so that is that. Let's see. We got, let's finish another Spider-Man. SpiderVerse 2, producer dodges question about Tom Holland. Okay, the animated venture of the Sony Pictures bringing back more Miles Morales and Haley Steinfeld's Spider-Gwen as they embark on yet another multiverse adventures. It's the first trailer in any direction. This is a ride maybe far crazier than the first. Join the two of them in Oscar Isaac's Spider-Man 2099, who can be seen throwing around Miles through various universes in the first teaser. The trailer, or the character, was originally seen in the post-credit tag. Given the introduction of the multiverse of No Way Home, it's only natural for the start connecting the dots between the two films, so that there are chances that Tom Holland and MJ, also anyone else in the MCU adventures, show up in the upcoming movie. In an interview with Collider, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse 2, Chris Miller and Phil Lord commented on the possibilities of No Way Home stars Tom and Zendaya showing up in the movie. A recent interview from Sci-Fi with Tom was brought up, in which the actor mentioned how he loves the Spider-Verse films and how Zendaya want to be in it. Collider interviewer went to ask if either of them have received any calls regardless of those comments, and Laura responded by saying, "I don't know. No one called me." Miller joked how he just got a call right now, and that it could possibly Zendaya. Is it Zendaya? Zendaya? He sarcastically made a note of how she always calling him. Lord pointed out the caller could be Tom Holland, or it could be a local political campaign asking for money. The two laughed off as a joke, but it was clear that they weren't going to reveal any secrets. I mean, I'm pretty sure if they're going to do, because we do have a question, right? Did the portal open up, and did they know Peter? Technically, Miles Morales does know Peter Parker, so the portal would open up for him, and he would know where Peter is, right? But we didn't get to see him in No Way Home, right? So technically, Miles Morales could have been there, but then he got sent back. Perhaps, maybe we see that in the actual animated. Maybe they link the two. Maybe they don't. But it's very interesting to see what happens with this. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say that Tom Holland comes back to be Spider-Man in that verse. And if he does, well, then it links the two. And if it links the two, and Tom Holland comes into the Spider-Verse 2, well, he was live action, and now he's in animated form, and then Miles Morales is in animated form, so do we see him make that transition into live action like we've always talked about with What If and stuff? So that'll be interesting. Zendaya. This logic is flawed because Ned is the person that opens up the portal, not the spell. True, but the villains got there without Ned opening the portal, right? All right, let's go. I got another Spider-Man. Yeah, I got another Spider-Man story here. I think Tom will 100% show up in Miles. Yeah, I think so too. I don't trust Tom saying he's taking a break. I don't. You know why? Just like I don't trust Andrew Garfield saying he wasn't in the movie. Okay? They're actors. They lie for a living. Okay? They lie for a living. That's what they do. 100%. I think Tom's going to be in there. All right, next story. Spider-Man No Way Home just set up Robert Downey Jr.'s Marvel's return. Dun, dun, dun. I gotta get some sound effects. Okay. Beyond the wild ramifications of its multiverse premise, the film does something quite interesting in terms of the character it draws from earlier franchise. More than just smashing through the barriers between properties, past and present, No Way Home breaks the new grounds in a way of the characters long believed to be dead. In doing so, it also paves the way for the return of other deceased heroes, including extremely popular Robert Downey Jr. as the not-so-invincible Iron Man. Okay, reaching into Sam Raimi's Mark Webb Spider-Man's movies, No Way Home brings back characters like the Green Goblin, Doc Ock, Electro. However, in the original appearance, all these characters died, whether by a glider, random suicide, or electrical overload. In the context of this film, the characters were simply snatched from the original universe before the ultimate demise. Even so, their returns still act as an important shift in the MCU, changing the way death is treated in the franchise. Avid comic book fans are likely familiar with the seamlessly dead heroes and villains popping back up in some way or another. Death in the comic book world is extremely fleeting, and it's almost staying dead for too long. Yeah, but let's be honest. A lot of comic books are series, and in that series they could die, but then they just make another series, which that series doesn't take place in the realm of the other one that he died in. Anyway, however, the sort of existential new for MCU in playing the idea of bringing back characters believed to be dead. Now, the MCU is opening the door for more even deceased individuals to return. Even as No Way Home greatly expands the way death is treated, the MCU has still dabbled with the resurrections before, with two specific entries in the canon best showcase this. Captain America the Winter Soldier serves as one of the first solid examples of characters being brought back from the grave in the MCU. Sure, Loki came back from this fall into the void of space, and Avengers, but coming back from death is one of the trickster's god's trademarks. The Winter Soldier, on the other hand, sees three different characters return, all different ways. The first one of these was the most obvious, Captain America the Winter Soldier, who turns out to be Bucky Barnes, was also brought back via the depraved depths of Hydra's sentence. However, the film also sees the two characters return to life. Nick Fury appears to die during the film's opening act, though it turns out that the tactic by ultimately Super Spy forcing his enemies to reveal themselves. Red Skull also makes a surprise appearance, reanimated as a living computer. A Zola, stooge of the Red Skull. However, these three deaths were all eventually reversed. Don't quite work the same way as a No Way Home or Resurrection. Now, they're flowing through on establishment story arcs. One is likely put in place in the times of their deaths. Now, Fury's appearance death is the best example of this, clearly serving as part of the eventual resurrection already baked in the story. Additionally, though, these deaths are never clearly established as concrete, allowing the character to return without causing fan backlash. Well, first of all, Captain America died with a plane crash. You don't see him actually dead, so you have to assume he's alive. Bucky, you didn't see him die, so you have to assume he's alive. When you see people die on screen, they're dead. When you see him not die on screen, you're like, he's still alive, right? Obviously, they can always change that now with time travel and whatnot. Endgame also saw their fair share of resurrections, bringing back half the entire universe, including dozens of heroes. However, these deaths were quite clearly meant to be reversed, with the Infinity War serving as the only first part of a two-movie story. So even in the MCU is doable resurrecting characters, it's pretty much only done with characters those return were already written into the material. Now, Spider-Man No Way Home, some changes things, however, opening the door for the future of solidly long dead individuals. On one hand, the film creates an in-universe plot justification for the return of the dead characters, and the multiverse is also offers endless versions of the fans' favorite characters. If a creative team of Marvel is looking for a way to get resurrected, certain characters in the multiverse provides extremely simple avenue for this. Instead of badly resurrected individuals, Marvel could just pluck similar versions of the characters from alternate universes. On the other hand, No Way Home also pushes the envelope in terms of what the audience will accept. Based on the film's widespread critical commercial success, it seems that the viewers had no trouble accepting that the characters could simply return from death. Sure, the movie provides an explanation steeped in the multiverse of mania, but it still brings back villains and the audience previously knew to dead. If actors like RDJ are concerned about losing fan support by popping back through the unearned character arc, the acceptance of success surrounding the returns of Dafoe, Maloney, and Fox are great signs. And the MCU is planning to bring back the fan-favorite heroes. It seems like they're extremely obvious place to start. Tony Stark was not only the first MCU hero fans got the taste, but also one of the most consistent appearing as the key figure. Yeah, but this doesn't tell you emotional. How do they think they're going to bring him back without undermining this important? The most obvious way back for Tony Stark is through the multiverse. As the multiverse provides an infinite number of different versions of characters, movies like Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness could offer an opportunity for Stark to reappear. This could widely different incarnation of the character, like with the rumored cameo featuring Tom Cruise and Iron Man, but it may also be a version more similar to the one fans know and love about Robert Downey Jr. Could easily pop into the movie down the line in a glimpse into the alternate universe. Many fans have savored the idea of multiverse-centered Avengers installment based on Marvel's Secret War storyline, which could be perfect outline on iconic characters like Downey Jr.'s Stark, Scarlett Johansson's Natasha Romanoff, and why not confirm the Russo brothers have also their hands raised for years wanting to adapt such storylines in the MCU. Apparently, opportunities offered to the multiverse of Stark could also come back more narratively focused way, with upcoming series like Ironheart and Armored Wars focusing on the technology of Stark Pioneer. Well, here's the thing. You know who they don't talk about in all this? They never talk about Gamora. Gamora is not even from this goddamn... She's dead. She died. And yet Gamora's in this timeline, and she came back. She came back from the multiverse. Yeah, no one brings that up, though, right? Like, she's in Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and she's dead. She died. We still don't know the universe, why Iron Man needed to die. Right. Right, Duke. We don't know the reason that he had to die. Right? Why couldn't anybody else hold it? Why couldn't Star-Lord hold the stones? He wouldn't have died. Right? He wouldn't have died. He can withstand. He's a god, right? Why couldn't Thor hold it? They gave it to Iron Man because he was the first and it was the most emotional thing, right? That's the reason they did it. He didn't have to die. It was an urgent moment. No, Strange literally told him out of 14 million ways or whatever the hell it was that this is it. Right? So Strange knows more about it. So, oh, right. He would have 100% died. That's true. That's true, Krebsy. I forgot about that. Iron Man does die, and basically in every universe proven by What If. Was it because he was tired of playing the character? Yeah, probably, Mantis, right? I mean, yes. Yes, that was the reason. He lost his powers, but he's still part celestial. That's also true. But anyway, there's other people that could have held the goddamn stone, right? And then why didn't just Strange put him in a bubble? Just hold Thanos in a bubble. But in the moment, he didn't have time to pass the gauntlet. Yeah, but didn't Strange... He never actually said it. Now, I haven't seen the movie in a couple years, but he never said what it was. He just told them what the one thing was. He didn't tell them the game plan, right? Strange just saw who needed to do it. I like the fact that Strange could just open a portal up, focus around his hand, and then slice it off. That's all he had to do. That's all he ever has to do. That's all he ever has to do. Just open a portal and then close it halfway through and slice the person in half. If we were going down this rabbit hole, Marvel could have just flew up into space when she had the gauntlet. That's true as well, right? Like, why did she have to go to the van? Right? Are we ever going to find out why Tony was the one? Maybe he says it in Multiverse of Madness. I mean, maybe he could have, but we're talking about a 10-second window. I don't know if we have a 10-second window. You're talking, they had 5 years to plan it and think about what Strange said and what they had to do. Right, Brandon. That's the line, right? If I tell you what's going to happen, you won't be able to do what needs to be done. That's not true either? What do you mean? Isn't that the line that he says to him? It would be interesting if Doctor Strange told us, the audience, in some way, right? Like, he should have some sort of remorse of what happened, because he's the only one to know what the hell was going on. Remember, he steals the gem, Thanos snaps, and he's loading the gauntlet. Right, but that's 5 years after. That's 5 years after Strange tells him. Strange gets wiped out, remember? And then when they come back, because Hulk snapped his fingers, he holds the finger up and just one, right? And Tony just thinks that that's it. He's like, I have to do it. I have to do it. How do you plan for something you can't plan for? They didn't know the ship was coming from the time machine. Don't say the one too loud. Marvel might peel the Matrix on us. That's right. No, this isn't like the Flash stopping the threat before it happens by going into the past. Strange never tells him how to do it or what to do. Right. But Strange knows what happens. He saw the future. He knew what was going to happen, so he would know that Tony does it. Hence why he survived, you know what I mean? Tony had to be the person so Kang can get birthed. Kang needed him to die so he could be created. What happens if Tony snapped his fingers to destroy the army earlier? What do you mean earlier? As soon as he got the glove, he snapped his fingers. Like, literally, he stole the glove off of him. And when he looked, it was like, what? And then he looked, he says, I'm Iron Man. And he takes it from him. Right. We still don't even know. Obviously, it was the one way to beat him, but the bigger picture, right? The bigger picture of bringing people back and what it cost, right? Strange couldn't tell him that the one ends in Tony's death because Tony wouldn't do it. Right. He wouldn't want to leave his family. Correct. It was in the moment. Strange knows what happens. Tony just assumes that it's his moment, right? Which is a good character growth across all the films, right? Because when he first started, he was this cocky son of a bitch that was just selfish about himself, right? Narcissistic, right? And as the movie goes along, he puts his shit aside and becomes more, but has a kid, right? During the blip, he has a child with Pepper Potts, and now he's a dad and all this other stuff. So he puts it. So of course, in the film aspect of it, his character's growth was like this great arc that went through the whole thing. So yes, he takes it, and it's the big sacrifice that he does it for the greater good, right? But you could also look at it, he does it because he knows that he's so selfish that he probably did it for the other reasons, not the right reasons. He probably did it like, I'll be famous because I saved the planet, right? Type of thing. What's going on, Boxer? Oh, we covered a bunch of stories. Maybe the Multiverse of Madness opens up with Strange cursing because he's supposed to be Bree that Snap and dies, not Tony. Wouldn't that be awesome, Brain? Wouldn't that be great? They're like in an argument, they're in a match, and he's like, it wasn't supposed to be Tony, it was supposed to be you, okay? Tony's entire philosophy during Endgame was only bring back what he lost, don't lose what he gained. The glove went from Hulk to the drain tunnel, to Hawkeye, to Nebula, to Peter Parker, to Captain Marvel, to Thanos, to Tony. Yes. Oh, absolutely, Milky. Absolutely. Correct, Mantis. That's what I'm saying. Like, Tony did it in that moment, and obviously, right, Strange knew that moment was going to happen. Tony didn't know it was going to happen, but you have to think, right? He says, if I tell you, then you won't do it. Okay? And at that moment, when he gets the glove and he holds his hand up, okay, and it's forming around his hand, right? In that split second moment, at that moment, Tony knows this is it. This is the way, right? This is the one way, right? It might not be the actual one way, okay? But he thinks that's that way in his moment of having that glove and says, I am Iron Man, and then he snaps, right? That is what that's that one moment for him. Either way, the last person to touch it was Thanos and then Tony, and then he snaps. That was it. Once he gets it off of his hand, and he went to go snap, and then it was gone, right? I think Strange will eventually cast a spell that rewinds time before the Infinity War. Then they kill Thanos the first time they see him. Ooh, I don't know if they would do it that way, Krebsy. That'd be interesting if they did it that way. There's no universe reason for why Doctor Strange couldn't grab the time stone on the gauntlet and make a cake walk returning it. I think in a universe where there's movie and plot points and plot armor, I beg to differ. Obviously, magic would be the answer to everything, right? Right? That's the reason that Strange couldn't just do what he did, or Ant-Man fly up his butthole and explode him, type of thing, right? Of course, that would be the easiest and solution that would work, right? Could just flew up Thanos' head and just exploded his head, done, right? But come on. Why do that though? What do we gain from being Thanos' back into the picture only just to kill him again? Yeah, that what Krebsy's saying, I don't know if they would do that. I don't know if they would do that. I don't know. Obviously, we don't know the bigger picture, right? If Tony Stark there is a timeline where Tony Stark becomes King the Conqueror type of thing. So they could go down that line. They could go down that line. It was a fixed point. I think Tony's dead. They can't just push time through Steve to have young Cap again. Just have Wanda mind control the Celestial on Earth and have him flick Thanos to the sun and dying. Yeah, we don't see that's the thing, right? That's the we know that Strange said there's only one way, right? From what we've been shown so far, do you have any predictions for the next phase as far as what, right? Because we haven't really seen anything. Are we talking about like where it goes from? I mean, God, I think the next. I'm confused with the next major hero because in this next series of this phase 4, there's no major boss fight, okay? Except if you look at like King the Conqueror. Now, King the Conqueror gets introduced in Ant-Man and the Wasp and the Quantumania, okay? We're about to talk into some spoiler rumors stuff about Multiverse of Madness and whatnot. Okay, so there's that as well, right? We don't know what happens. Basically, I mean, Wanda could be the bad guy moving forward for a bit. King the Conqueror could be the bad guy for a bit. We don't know who the villain is in Captain Marvel yet. There's a lot of things that can happen. I don't know if I really have any predictions. If I have to say one prediction, I do think we get Doom introduced in some way, shape, or form as the next big baddie, I guess, and somewhere down the line. If Fantastic Four comes out before Phase 5, it's the end of Phase 4, maybe. No one's ever dead, Boxer. No one's ever dead. I mean, technically, yes, the Celestial is dead. We know that the Strange Supreme Universe and the main MCU version have 2 different fixed points. Then there's a whole secret invasion they're doing. Might be used for reasons later on to explain, like, what if? Aramish would not be the next big bad. I mean, they have so many people. Here's the thing. I think you almost have to also keep it, at least for the Avengers, the local Avengers, right? Like, you just had this massive threat that was outer space coming to attack, and it completely changed. We had this conversation like months ago. Like, you can't have another, like, go up against Galactus, right? At that point, you have to have a completely different group, non-Earth-based heroes that are massive on a different completely level. Like, Hawkeye and Kate Bishop's not going to fight Galactus in any way, shape, or form. You know what I mean? You need, like, super beings out there. You need Captain Marvel type stuff. You need, that type of the gods that are fighting each other out there. When you're talking about Phase 4, if they're staying home ground, then I feel like interdimensional Earthbound timelines is something they can do. But if you're going with outer space and you're going like the Eternals with the Celestials and all this other stuff, I just don't know how you All right, are we back? We got a blip here. And my stream started over. Oh boy. Oh boy. Are we still live? Yeah. I'm pretty sure Phase 4 is going to go full on cosmic. Well, King the Conqueror is not cosmic, right? He's not like a supreme being god type of stuff. I mean, they all have their small bosses, but what's that going to be? What's going to be that next Avenger threat type of stuff, you know? Shang-Chi's sister will keep everyone safe. She's the best of the best. The worry is stronger. She'll just watch from the distance and she'll learn. She'll learn, Krebsy. She'll watch and don't. She doesn't have to get taught. She just knows by osmosis. She's fine. She'll be like, I watched you guys fight Thanos. I know what I'm doing. I watched the DVD. Correct, but he's human. Right, Krebsy? He's human. Yes, he has cosmic impact, but he's human. So you can have human-like people fight him. If you're getting Galactus and you get Hawkeye or Kate Bishop fighting Galactus, it's gonna be a little lackluster, I think. It's a completely different ballpark. But we'll see. We'll see what goes on with that. All right, let's see what else we got here. All right, let me watch the new. We'll probably get bumped for this. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm going to watch the trailer. We're going to watch the trailer. I haven't seen it yet. So, this will be my first time watching the Moon Knight trailer. Unmute the tab. Let's watch. Make sure the volume is somewhat okay. All right, here we go.
Hello, and welcome to Staying Awake.
I have a sleeping disorder. I can't tell the difference between my waking life and dreams.
Hello, and welcome to Staying Awake.
He definitely looks a lot skinnier than he did on those workout videos that he did behind the scenes.
We'll catch you on. You're bloody useless, Stevie.
Stephen. I can't tell the difference between life and dreams.
Thank you.
Lost the contact lens.
Hope you find it.
Thanks. Yeah.
Oh my God, you're alive. What's wrong with you, Mark?
Why did you call me Mark?
I don't know if I like his
Must be very difficult.
accent. Ethan Hawke?
Voices in your head. There's chaos in you. Embrace the chaos.
All right. All right. That looked actually pretty decent. That looked pretty decent. Now, it looks more psychedelic, right? How's that on Disney Plus? How is that on Disney Plus? That seems more. I like the choice of the music though they did in the trailer. I thought the trailer was cut well. I like the costume. I like the costume. Yeah, the costume looks good. Yeah, it looks good. I mean, it looks good, but they can still mess it up. All right, so we've seen plenty of shows now, right? We've seen 4 Disney Plus live action shows. We've seen WandaVision, we've seen Falcon and Winter Soldier, we've seen Loki, and we've seen Hawkeye. Okay. Now, obviously, this looks pretty decent, but if this was on Netflix, I think it would be better. I don't know if Disney Plus goes that extra step of making it like, it feels very psychedelic as far as like, you know, split personality syndrome and stuff like that he has. But I don't know, man. We say fake cat murder. We see fake cat murder someone. This is fine. Sure, I guess. But they don't actually show it though, right? The camera's off and he's about to come down on him. I don't know, man. I hope they don't fuck it up. I hope they don't fuck it up. Right? Hawkeye looked like shit, was decent. Loki looked great and was shit. It's true. It's true. Right? I hope it's good. I know nothing of Moon Knight. Just like I knew nothing of the other characters and stuff like that they introduce. Okay? And I'll watch it and I'll review it and I'll talk about it. We'll have a conversation just like we have for everything else. But just the trailer off the bat, it does look good. It does look decent. It did get me a little excited to watch it. Okay? Not knowing much about it, but we'll see what happens. So, what do you guys think? I close the tab. Why? It's the public trailer. If I get bopped, I get bopped, I guess. Yeah, I'm excited. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think the trailer's good? You like it? I think it's decent. But I don't know. I don't know. They could screw it up. They could screw it up. I mean, it could be Boba Fett. Episode 3 of Boba Fett. I've got high hopes for Moon Knight. It's one of my favorite Marvel characters. Well, you might be blinded, brain. You might be blinded, and you might not even... You might like it no matter what. You'd be like, this is it. Like, this is your moment. You're like, this is your favorite character. You finally get something about him. Moon Knight is part of a theory I have that Disney is heading. Moon Knight doesn't need Vespas. Yeah, you imagine he runs around in a Vespa. So here's the thing that now this is on the 12th. The next story. This is on the 12th. Okay. Now we just saw the trailer. Was it this morning or yesterday? Whatever it was yesterday, right? For the football game when they showed it. Now this says new Moon Knight Disney Plus photo hints at reshoots. Okay. So the series rumored to be first up is Moon Knight. Not much is known about the project with the secrecy behind it. The show is fairly all right. something Spider-Man No Way Home could have used. From what they've known, the show is likely to see more gods introduced to the Marvel Cinematic Universe and teased to be more violent than one might guess. The upcoming adventure wrapped production at the end of last September, but signs are pointing to reshoots starting back up any day now. Moon Knight reshoots imminent. On the Instagram, Michael Hernandez, Oscar Isaac's brother, posted an intriguing story to his page. Okay. Industry insider Cosmic Circus found Leslie Hill backed up the photos, saying that she has heard there are only a few days of reshoots for Moon Knight. I'm not positive yet, but in LA, we think. And the night of the rumors again, no one knows Isaac's brother could be doing on set. He maybe simply be visiting. There weren't any previous reports involvement before, though maybe the star got his sibling a fun cameo in production. As for the reshoots themselves, it's important to remind those reading this that it's a built-in process for all Marvel projects. They could even be extremely minimal, or they only a few days being rumored. Rumors have placed the show to land by March of this year, but with the reshoots happening, this is hard to tell if the series is on track or the release window. It seems Marvel Studios have been delaying its projects more and more recently. Hopefully this doesn't happen to Mark Spector's outing in his alter ego. So, if they're doing reshoots, we're what, 10 weeks away? No. Yeah, 10 weeks away. It's not abnormal that they would do reshoots. The question is, why are they doing reshoots so late and so soon to where it's launching from? You know what I mean? Big question. Will be in Avengers or Fortnite first? Oh, we already know that, Stealth. Moon Knight will definitely be in Fortnite first. I like 80% of Wanda, 60% of Falcon, 90% of Loki, and 50% of Hawkeye. So I'm not holding my breath. I'm lowering my expectations. Nah, my luck sucks. It'll be shitty like everything I enjoy in the world. That's the spirit, brain. That's the spirit. Well, sure. And then the first episode, that trailer's probably majority of the first episode. I guarantee it. I guarantee you that whole trailer is probably the first episode, and we'll see him turn to Moon Knight like the second episode, and then like we didn't see anything, right? So you're right. They could be doing reshoots for the final scenes and stuff like that, but it's still 10 weeks away. 10 weeks away. First two episodes, I say? Maybe. I would say majority of that trailer is cut from the first episode. You probably won't see him in his outfit until episode 2. All right, we got Black Panther news. Black Panther 2 update reveals bigger role for Winston Dukes, M'Baku. The answers aren't known yet for sure yet, but rumors have it that Namor is the city's Atlas are going to be joining the fray. The nation is unusual in conflict with Wakanda, and there's also a strong chance of those characters not getting along with the heroes in Wakanda forever. It's been previously reported that Wright's Shuri will be getting a bigger role, which makes sense given the status of the Wakanda prince or princess. Dominic Thorne, Riri Williams is also to be set to introduce in the film ahead of her Disney Plus debut in Ironheart. Now it's been reported that another character is set to become an even bigger part of the MCU, M'Baku. Okay. Now the report revealed that the Winston Duke, the actor of M'Baku, is also to life in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, has negotiated a significant raise for his return as Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Now the payment increase is a apparent result of M'Baku's expanded role in the Black Panther franchise mythos. However, it's unclear what exactly expansion will be. Okay, M'Baku the Black Panther? Question mark. One of the first possible options. Wakanda Forever ending with M'Baku taking the mantle of Black Panther, while certainly being considered possibly. Many fans believe that Shuri will be the one to inherit the role and follow her brother's footsteps. Either way, Wakanda doesn't seem like it's going anywhere anytime soon, with M'Baku and Shuri getting more significant roles going forward. They could be a staple of the wider cinematic universe. I mean, do we see him taking the role over? I predict episodes 1 and 2 launch on March 30th. That could be also Krebsy, because if they are falling behind and they just keep pushing it, you know what I mean? They could do the 2 and then they catch up. I feel that Phase 4 has already kind of left Wakanda Forever behind. There are already too many bigger things going on. Wakanda Forever should probably be a D+ show. What you're saying, left them behind as far as on the bigger story with Cosmic, right? They should just recast the role. So you want them to keep T'Challa and then just recast T'Challa? I don't know, man. I mean, I'm okay with them giving it to his sister or giving it to M'Baku, right? If they can make it work. Yeah, man, I have a problem with where Phase 4 is going and what, like I said earlier, like what's Black Panther going to do against, you know, Galactus or a Celestial in space? They're going to get in ships and fight? You know what I mean? Then it's like a Top Gun movie in space. Watch out, Tom Cruise. Top Gun in space. I hope it's not Killmonger. I hope it's not Killmonger. The sister will be Black Panther. They want more women leads. Well, that's true. Nothing against Michael B. Jordan, but I just don't get it. The sister has pissed Marvel off, so I doubt it. Well, she did the political stuff, and then she also got injured on the set. I don't think they're going to hold that against her. Otherwise, they would have fired her like Gina Carano, right? Sure, he's built like a twig. She just doesn't fit the role, in my opinion. Yeah, well, that's the problem with a lot of the actresses. Like, don't get me wrong, like Valkyrie, you know, Tessa Thompson, she's looks okay in the role of Valkyrie, right? She looks like a bigger woman. But like, I love Natalie Portman, but Natalie Portman's like a twig as well, and now she's gonna be Thor, right? There's certain things like I can take my imagination and go, okay, well, she can be strong. Like Black Widow, I had no problem. She was short and small, and she could kick ass, right? But she could kick ass against normal people. Black Widow wasn't fighting a god. Obviously, Jane Foster, she's Thor. She is a god. And Valkyrie, she's also a god. Shuri is not a god. She has extra powers and stuff like that, but I don't know. It just looks strange when you see a stick fighting a boulder. Like, I'm okay if the character itself, like, if she was, let's just say in a world where, like, Jean Grey was a skinny girl, like, super skinny twig, right? She's fighting people with her mind, not physically punching somebody, you know what I mean? Like, she's fucking with them in their brain, okay? Like, you can't cast, like, Rogue as a twig. You gotta cast roles a regular sized woman, you know what I mean? But we'll see. We'll see. I think M'Baku's going to be Black Panther. Bring Michael B. Jordan back as Killmonger and then make him... Then you're going to have this, like, turmoil of, oh, you were right. Now that T'Challa's dead, now we're going to make you the leader, even though you wanted to do genocide. Right? Like, think about that. He literally wanted to do genocide. And now they're going to be like, oh, well, you're the rightful person, and now you're our... Like, what? What? It's a strong stick, yeah. All right, so the next story is that Black Panther 2 rumors reveal Doctor Doom role details. Okay. With T'Challa, without Boseman's T'Challa, Black Panther Wakanda Forever will explore Wakanda as a whole as a mythical African nation opens up the borders to the rest of the world. It will also include the long-awaited debuts, Dominic Thorne's Ironheart and Namor Submariner. Even with two top-tier characters arriving in the sequel, first of all, stop. Two characters arriving in the sequel. Ironheart, we went over this last week, is not a top-tier character. Just saying. Further rumblings suggest that Marvel Comics' biggest names could also show face. Over 2 years ago, reports teased that Black Panther's sequel was planning to introduce MCU's Victor Von Doom, who is said to be on path to conquering parts of Africa before coming to Wakanda. Although there's still a chance of Doom may appear in this movie, or more recent rumor hinted that fans couldn't expect him to see much screen time yet. It'll probably be like an end cutscene, right? Revealed the rumor that teases Doctor Doom's potential role in the year's Black Panther Wakanda Forever. According to the rumor, Doom's role is very minor, as the movie uses him to imply that the war between Wakanda and Atlas was down to Doom's interference. The report doesn't confirm if Doom actually makes an appearance or not, although the production team is reportedly working on a costume as well. Now, all things considered, this rumor could be taken with a grain of salt, especially considering how many major storylines are already set for Black Panther 2. That said, there should be proved to be true. Fans may be on their way to the start of some epic Fantastic Four-centric stories within the MCU, well before Marvel's first family makes its debut. Now, Dr. Doom has connections to the hidden African nation in comics, having attempted to use his powers to take over the Wakandas in multiple runs over the couple of decades, additionally teasing that the MCU existence is already out there, specifically the nod to his home country. Now, right now, there is no signs pointing to the MCU's Fantastic Four movie will debut, although rumors are pointing production begins sometime in 2023, debuting Doom in the Black Panther antagonist as the world threat before the first and the screen interactions of Reed Richards, Ben Grimm, and Storm's siblings. As noted in the rumor, it's unclear whether Doom will actually appear physically or persistent in the tease, similar to known as Kingpin's was before Wilson Fisk in Hawkeye. I usually don't do it on this one. I would do it on the show, but if you have something, I could pull you in after I get done with my stuff. Marvel just teased Secret Invasion's release date on Disney+. While all Marvel's 2022 theatrical releases have been set in stone in terms of release dates, their streaming projects remain up in the air. Fans can rest easy knowing Moon Knight, Ms. Marvel, She-Hulk, and I Am Groot will arrive in 2022, despite none of them having confirmed premium dates. Now, beyond Disney Plus shows confirmed in 2022, Marvel has a multitude of projects currently in production. Now, Secret Invasion joins Marvel's 2022 slate, ? The shape-shifting takeover may be coming sooner than expected. As evidenced by information on the Japanese branch of Marvel's website obtained to translate the Cosmic Circus, Secret Invasion looks to be arriving on Disney Plus in 2022. This comes alongside a Marvel Studios Hero Day campaign launch by Marvel's Japan on January 16th, which utilizes the tagline, "New projects, one after another. Universe will expand even further." Okay, so there's multiple shows that are ahead, right? So While Secret Invasion is placed amongst confirmed 2022 projects, the only project to omit the year is coming soon. Disney Plus is labeled. Another image of Marvel's Studios' Japanese website groups Secret Invasions with Moon Knight and She-Hulk, along with 3 films confirmed to arrive this year. Now, the graphics once again use the new projects one after another. Universe will expand even further tagline. Okay. Now, this image increasingly uses Secret Invasion as show without release window rather than Miss Marvel or I Am Groot, which have both been confirmed. So, Marvel Studios has significantly shaken up the 2022 slate since 2020. Disney investors. Ironheart Armor Wars were also once among the MCU's 2022 slate, but production delays and reload theatrical release schedules forced them to pivot. Okay, despite being made up over a dozen franchises, the Marvel Cinematic Universe tells an overall linear story, making the release order of various projects crucial. Dropping WandaVision ahead of Falcon Winter Soldier didn't change the MCU's grand narrative, but the movie, like Black Widow, needed to arrive before Hawkeye in order to give context to Elena Belova's appearance. Ironheart, likely delayed to 2023, makes sense considering leading to start making her first appearance as Riri Williams in November's Black Panther Wakanda Forever. There's no telling particular project lead into the build-off Secret Invasions, but likely has ties with February 2023 Marvels. I think that's all we need to see on this one. So do we think Secret Invasions is coming after? Like, is this... Obviously... This is Hawkeye. Okay. This is Secret Invasions. Oh no, this is not Secret Invasions. This is Multiverse of Madness. Right? So is this Secret Invasions? Oh, that is Secret Invasions. But it says theater release. Isn't that the same picture? Oh no, Secret Invasion is down here. Duh. Dum. So do we think this is coming after She-Hulk? If this is March, this is, let's see, was it 6 episodes? So the end of March, so it's April, May. So we're talking about June for She-Hulk. June, July. So we're talking about August for Secret Invasion. If Doctor Doom will make the first appearance of Wakanda Forever, then that's all they're using the movie for. The first family, see Wakanda Forever, is already being left behind, only used as a setup, like Eternals. Right, and that's why I said that's why I led with Fantastic Four in the very first story. I feel like they're going to introduce Doom and then use him as a bad guy in Fantastic Four, right? To springboard him. Look, a lot of this stuff is like filler, right? That's what it is. It's filler. And we know that now, right? We've seen enough. We've seen enough footage, enough shows to know that it's filler. It's like the stuff that you talk about in the between major plot points, right? They're entertaining, but nothing like super groundbreaking, right? You don't really need to see the shows to be like, oh my God, I saw that in WandaVision and now I can see Multiverse of Madness. She-Hulk, I think, is a springboard more for Hulk, but because Hulk can't have his own standalone thing. I'm only excited for it, Mantis, because I'm excited because of what they're doing with Hulk potentially in it to maybe bring another movie with Hulk. But again, it's filler to fill in this thing. We'll see. All right, next story. Thor 4 Tessa Thompson clears up comments about her Marvel powers. Okay, Marvel Studios is looking forward to the massive year of content. Okay, recently Tessa Thompson teased another side of her heroine's story by hinting that she would have some weird skills and somewhat erotic new powers to explore. Ooh, erotic. Including the ability to bring people into Valhalla when they are close to death. While there's a chance that many of these happen in the movie, Thompson recently took a moment to clarify what she actually meant when discussing those abilities. Thor: Love and Thunder star Tessa Thompson took to Instagram to clarify comments she made previously about Valkyrie's powers in upcoming fourth solo movie. Referencing her comments about Valkyrie's new erotic powers. Okay, she admitted that these were powers Valkyrie has in the comics that Thompson enjoyed reading about. She made it clear that these powers were not necessarily coming into play into Thor: Love and Thunder, and what she's not into the business of giving away spoilers. Okay, Thompson full post of her story here. That's her. Man, she looks completely different. Okay. Tessa has also taken various opportunities to share stories from both the past MCU movies and her current work of upcoming Thor outing. Some are sharing images of herself and Tom Holland from Endgame and to provide a look at her new outfit this year's solo movie. The MCU veteran is regularly one of the franchise's biggest public supporters. Even with the enthusiasm, however, she made it clear, though, that the post that she did intended to be giving away any false information about, right? So do we think she's going to bring back maybe Jane dies? She brings her back, brings her from Valhalla, right? And then she becomes Lady Thor? Maybe? Yeah, I understand what Valhalla equals. Yeah. Tessa Thompson's power is to bring people to the Ubisoft game, Valhalla, Assassin's Creed. That's her power. No, yeah. Yeah, it's heaven. All right, do we have another thing here? Let me see. Here's another topic here. Now, a breaking romance, folks. Everyone's waiting for this one. Everyone's waiting for this one. I can't wait. This is huge. Comic Jane gets cancer, so connect the dots. I already did. Didn't know that. So, there you go. The next romance, breaking. The romance between Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel, and Valkyrie has been confirmed. You can all sleep better at night. You can all sleep better at night. I wish I had a hold on. Let me see. Do I have it? Damn it. Doesn't work. All right. I got to put soundboards on. It doesn't matter, Reese. It doesn't matter. She's now into you know, Captain Marvel. Who wouldn't be, right? Sarge must love this story. Yeah. So, that's it. That's the story, right? The romance between those two. Can't wait. Marvel has reportedly begun their search for the director for the next MCU X-Men mutant film. We also may be getting closer to the official announcement. First of all, do we think they'll keep the name X-Men? If they don't, I probably won't watch it. Okay. Confirmed by who? Confirmed by who? What movie would they even be seen in? Oh, they took a look at each other during the final fight scene when she said, "How are you going to get that over there?" And then she flew on in to help Captain Marvel. They made eye contact. You didn't see that? You didn't see that? You didn't see the eye contact they made? I saw it. It was there. X-Men Phase 5 first film? Yeah, I think so too, Krebsy. I think I mentioned that during WandaVision back in early last year when me and Wolvie were talking. I think we might have brought it up. Mantis, you think they're going to keep the name X-Men? Because there was articles talking about that X-Men, they might be X people. Because, that's what people think about. I'm almost the same, Krebsy. If they drop X-Men because of that, yeah. What? X Factor, X Force, X Persons? Yeah. Multiverse of Madness leaks juicy in regards to X-Men. Yeah, we're gonna go over a spoiler. We're gonna go over a spoiler run. We also might have Marvel wants Zack Snyder to direct an upcoming Hulk project. That's interesting. That's interesting. I would take a Zack Snyder Hulk to see what's going on. This is why I'm interested, Mantis, in She-Hulk, because She-Hulk might be setting up World War Hulk, right? Which would be interesting. Yeah, the Rock eyebrow raises, right? But it could be Bitch Hulk. It could still just be Bitch Hulk, which would be sad. Which would be sad. And we got that. All right, so the next one, they'll have pronouns on their costumes instead of the X. Oh man, they men. He, she men. X, no, it'd be X, they, X, she, X, he, right? That's what it would be. That makes sense, Reese. That makes sense. All right, so, I guess before I do that, Endgame spoiler talk. Okay, if you guys don't want to hear of the next upcoming film, these are rumors. Okay, take it with a grain of salt. Could be 100% true, could be 100% fake. You make the call, right? So, Doctor Strange 2 rumors tease a lot of death and horror. Okay, now there might be some stuff, I haven't read this myself yet. Okay, so there might be stuff in here that ruins stuff for you. So, new to the party, American Chavez, who is set to play the integral part in the story, the ability to traverse in the multiverse is sure to be quite whoever is on her side. Now, but what's central conflict on the movie? It's still unclear after watching the initial teaser. Marvel Studios certainly seems to want people to think the darker variant of Strange will be a main antagonist of the piece, but that seems far too simple. So, as does Gargantos. Now, rumor is the hit that some lucky people have seen a version of the film, and the information has been given some more insight into what fans can expect going into the movie this May. Okay? Again, spoiler talk. A Nerdy with Dirty Endgame podcast spoiler talk. If you do not want to know anything about Multiverse of Madness, then, put it on mute for a bit and come back a little bit later. Okay. The witness of a death and horror insider industry, Casey Walsh, revealed on Twitter that knows someone who saw Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Okay. He went in to tease the sequel's impressive body count and that he loves what he's hearing. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness will have an impressive body count and will use variants to a great effect. Love what I'm hearing. Well, there you go. There's the V word. Variants. Okay. As for whatever or not the movie will still be based on horror as originally marketed during its announcement, Casey Walsh confirmed does stay rooted in the genre influence. Now, the horrific Doctor Strange 2, many fans are likely to be thrilled to hear how the film has potentially retained its horror elements. Many thought of the departure of Scott Dickerson was a sign of Marvel Studios was going to ease up on those aspects in the movie. The new director, Sam Raimi, is a horror veteran, so it's no surprise that those would still be there. One of the most famous pieces of work outside the original Spider-Man was Evil Dead franchise. Now, the trailer certainly had a scary feeling to it, forbidding sense of terrible events to come, and an impressive body count. This one is the big teases Walsh felt that needed to say. Obviously, things just got out of hand, like Cumberbatch alter ego teases in the trailer. But who would be dying? Could Marvel be pulling out those previously rumored cameos out of the bag just to have them killed off? And by who? Obviously, it could be Dark Strange or Gargantos. But other options could also form Avenger Wanda Maximoff herself. After all, the Darkhold isn't known for good influences. Okay? So, now, okay, I'm going to bring up Marvel news here. What else we got here? Where is the thing? Okay, is this the one I did? Okay. Now, I'm going to show another person's YouTube video. Okay. This is huge spoilers. Okay. Actually, I'm just going to put the voice. I'll tell you whose channel it is. It's the Den of the Nerds. The Den of the Nerds. Okay. Good YouTube channel. I like it. It's entertaining. Okay. This is going to be major potential spoilers. Okay. Major potential spoilers. Okay. So I'm putting that out there. Okay. So let me see if I'll put the link. I'll put the link in the why do I have to sign in there? Does this cover the same thing I posted? Did you post after me? Potentially. I don't know. I never clicked your spoilers. Let me see. At the end. No, this I think has more information than what you posted there. This has more. Is this the yeah, the Den of the Nerds one is the one I posted. All right, so here we go.
About Doctor Strange. It's Josh coming at you from Nerd Vengers Tower. As per usual, smash like on this video. Being said by insiders, scoopers, and from other leaks have been wild, and I wanted to try to separate fact from fiction. But apparently, the new version of the movie has already been screened. And I want to put this tweet up here first. This is coming in from Casey Walsh. I know someone who saw Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Now, the reason I want to start with this is because, yes, we're going to be digging into a lot of the different tweets.
This is spoiler audio, folks.
Just earlier today, after talking to her sources about the new cut of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And the reason I wanted to bring Casey Walsh's tweet up here is because he tweeted this not knowing that Grace had tweeted about this before, independent of her coming out. He is saying, yes, Multiverse of Madness has been screened.
Thank you, Krebsy.
Real quickly, let me just break this down for you guys. This is likely an internal screening. A lot of higher ups at Disney, maybe friends and family of people like Sam Raimi, maybe Bob Chapek, maybe Kevin Feige, people like that. It's a very small group of folks that screen things internally. I believe they did screen Multiverse of Madness before, late last year. This was before the reshoots, and they made a lot of changes due to what people said during those reshoots. As this is just a normal part of the movie making.
Real quick, guys, I know I'm listening to someone else's YouTube, and what I don't want to show it, because after we're done listening to it, I want you guys to go over there and click the like button. Give a view, give a thumbs up to the video that we're being listened to, because I don't like taking content away from somebody else, but it is you know, content that I can talk about, right? But I don't want to show it on the screen next to me, so we're just listening to the Den of Birds, okay? And then at the end, you can go over there, give it a thumbs up, like, do whatever, you know what I mean?
Process, but it also shows that, yes, Grace Randolph is not just making stuff up. She actually has sources, and she does have her finger on the pulse of many things that are going on over in Hollywood. So let's begin with this first tweet here. She said 11 hours ago, MCU screening was Doctor Strange 2, and I'm hearing very positive feedback from several sources. Wanda is still villain and is not.
Yeah, I'm not going to show
America
the
Chavez is definitely LGBT.
the screen.
And they show
Krebsy.
her parents. Lots of major awesome cameos. Oh yeah, movies back on track. Now let's sort of bring some context into this tweet. Grace had originally reported back in, I think it was late November of last year, that the movie's first screening was disappointing. The movie was all over the place, and that she was a little bit worried from what she had heard from sources.
Streamer.
And a lot of the reshoots were to add crazy cameos, but also to fix up the film. So with that in mind, she is now reporting that the new version of the film seems really, really good. The first part of this tweet where she's talking about how Wanda is still the villain and will not be watered down, this is incredible news. Now, I was already going to be talking about in a video.
They say Wanda is the villain.
Before Grace tweeted all this stuff out, that Wanda was indeed still going to be the villain with massive reshoots going on the way they did with Multiverse of Madness. There could have been all sorts of changes, and a lot of people, when we first heard how crazy it was that they were going to make Wanda the villain, we got excited, we got hyped, but then we immediately got concerned that maybe Disney would pull back on that. Maybe Disney wouldn't want Wanda to be the full crazy villain that kills a bunch of people and causes all of this.
Okay, if Wanda is the villain, okay, if anything, give Grace a like as well. Oh yeah, Grace Randolph, she does the trailer stuff as well. But obviously, he's talking about her content that she's leaking, and I'm talking about his content because it's all wrapped up in one video, right? So if Wanda is the if the villain, do they kill her off at the end of this, or does she become? I mean, is she the birth? Obviously, is it like the House of M of the X-Men? Is it continue on to Doctor Strange 3, and they get her back during that time frame? Do you know what I mean? What do you guys think about that?
Damage, maybe they'll just blame Shumagorath, maybe they'll just blame the Darkhold, and so it looks like they are not doing that, and she is not
Yes, it's beyond the trailer.
watered down, meaning she's still going to go absolutely crazy, be a total and complete savage. By the end of the film, it's going to be like Darth Vader, Wanda Maximoff, like absolute insanity, and I am thrilled that they didn't take that element out. Now, here's a couple other interesting things she says here. One cameo is so amazing. Fan dream come true. I know it's gonna leak, which is sad. This is a cameo nobody has reported yet, so I hope everyone holds back and doesn't ruin it. Now, briefly here, I'll just say we don't know who she's talking about here, but it could be anyone and everyone that you saw from old Fox movies, from the Fantastic Four, the X-Men film, from old Marvel television shows. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Lou Ferrigno showed up. He's already been in the MCU as a small cameo. Big story out there about Ben Affleck's Daredevil possibly being in the film. That's something really interesting and crazy as well, and it just goes to show Feige is going for it, man. He's going on all sorts of old Marvel properties. This movie, just like Spider-Man No Way Home celebrated the history of Spider-Man franchises and all of those movies, this movie is going to celebrate all of Marvel. That includes the Fox X-Men stuff, the Fantastic Four stuff, maybe even old shows. So let's go over a couple other things she says. She says here, Wanda versus Doctor Strange fight is mind-blowing, and that's really, really cool. She actually goes on to say that it's mostly Doctor Strange's movie, that Doctor Strange has more screen time than Wanda does. And this is kind of important because we were really curious, how are you going to fit all this crazy stuff into the movie, do as much as we think you're doing with
That's my biggest problem with movies like this, right? Like the Multiverse of Madness, the No Way Home, Avengers Endgame, where they take so many guys, okay? When they take so many people and put them in a film, how are you going to juggle all of these people in the same thing, right? It's going to be very brief cameos of stuff.
Wanda and not totally steal the shine from Benedict Cumberbatch, from the character of Doctor Strange. And I'm sort of reading between the lines here, but I believe that's probably some of what was handled in the reshoots, giving him an actual arc and having him be the driving focus and force of this movie. And at the end of this film, you know, she says here, everyone at the screening loved the movie. They wanted to see Doctor Strange 3. Great cliffhanger ending. Doctor Strange has more screen time than Wanda, but they are both leads. No other spoilers because let's save some stuff for the theaters. So I think this is so cool because it's going to put Doctor Strange, our Stephen Strange, at a whole nother level and place as a character after this film. I've heard rumors about what this cliffhanger ending could be, but essentially I strongly feel Stephen Strange as a character is going to be armed with all kinds of knowledge and new appreciation for how dangerous the multiverse can actually be, and I think all of that stuff is going to take us towards Secret War. Here's a few other things she says. She says the current cut is approximately 2 hours, but that's without credits or end credit scenes, so you're probably looking at like, you know, over 2 hours and 20 minutes, 2 hours and a half.
I'd say about
crazy
2.5 hours.
At one point, the cut was 3 hours long, so they cut a whole bunch of stuff out of this movie. Hopefully, a lot of that stuff makes its way into the special features.
3 hours long. Lord of the Rings, here we go.
Because 2 hours doesn't necessarily feel enough for all the crazy stuff that they have going in there, but we don't know. We have to see how it plays out. She's also saying that Tom Cruise is not in it and some other rumored cameos didn't happen. She's talking about this other crazy surprise cameo that's going to blow minds. It won't be a secret until May. That's fine. I think it'll happen. We'll talk about it. It'll be really exciting. Could be one of the X-Men. Who knows for sure? You know, regardless. Tom Cruise not being in it, kind of a bummer. Hopefully they still have an Iron Man variant. Maybe they got RDJ himself to be that variant. Who knows for sure? But I'd really hope we still get Iron Man, Tony Stark, to be a part of that Universal Illuminati or connected to the multiversal fight with Wanda. It wouldn't be the end of the world if...
All right, I'm going to stop it there. That's halfway through the video. If you guys want to go watch the rest of the video, go check it out. Up above, Krebsy put the link. If you can repost that link for me, Krebsy, I appreciate that. So go check out the Den of the Nerds. He does a lot of Star Wars stuff, a lot of Marvel stuff as well. So check that out. You can watch it. We listened to about 7 minutes of the 13-minute long video. You can listen to the rest of it. Give that like button a hit. See, there's a like button right there. I hit mine. Hit my like button. Make sure you guys go hit the like button to go support other content creators on YouTube. Even though he's got 172,000 people, he's earned it. So he does good stuff. So yeah, what do you guys think of Wanda being the villain? And if they bring in, as we talked about last week and the weeks before, again, spoiler talk, because it's the end of the show, right? So if you're still here and you're listening, then you probably want to hear it, right? So basically, you know, Hugh Jackman, Magneto and Professor Xavier and all these other people that are supposed to potentially come in, right? Do we think it all happens, or do we think it's fan service overload? Or do we think it's more substantial than that? Do they actually bring the heroes in because it's actually story related, not just fan service? You know what I'm talking about? Like, yeah, SpiderMan was great. SpiderMan was great for the nostalgia and fan service. But a lot of it you didn't need. Like, you didn't need Lizard. You didn't need Sandman type of stuff. They didn't really bring anything more to the story. I still think she will be friendly till halfway through and then gets corrupted by the dark. Oh, absolutely, Krebsy. Yeah. I think she's, in the beginning of the movie, I don't think she is evil. I think she becomes evil. I'm only totally fine with Wanda being the villain. She's misguided, looking for her children. She could totally think she's doing the right thing. True. True. The only confirmed X-Men coming is Professor X. Is it confirmed, though? I thought it was all rumored. I don't think anything is confirmed. Maybe 2-3 cameos. We have greater impact to the MCU. Yeah. Like, obviously, if they bring Professor Xavier in, Mantis, then that would be 100% like a driving force going, okay, X-Men are coming type of thing, you know? Cameos, nothing more, maybe 2 or 3, right? Okay, it's going to feel like an empty fan service if Marvel's, after all, they're going to mess it up. Now here's the thing also. With movies coming out, right? Because they built up, like, Iron Man in the very beginning only had Iron Man, right? And then they brought in Black Widow, and then you brought in Falcon, you bring in, you know, Captain America was by himself. And as the movies kept going higher and higher, they kept getting more people inside it, right? So you already have like 3 or 4 people. You have, you know, Wanda, Strange, you're bringing Chavez in, you got other characters there. There's like always like a 4-man group happening in the films, and then more. Avengers had everybody. And then after that, since Avengers Endgame, like Black Widow had 2 or 3 people. They brought... Where do they go with this, right? Spider-Man had, you know, No Way Home, had a lot of characters in there. Multiverse of Madness has a lot of characters in there. The Marvels, when they come out, there's going to have like 4 different actors, superheroes in there. Where do you think they go with this? Do you think they even go back to movies where it's just a standalone hero? Or is it always going to be these buddy films, not really focusing on one hero and just kind of getting lost in the jumble? Yeah, but even pre-viz leaks, those are storyboards and stuff like that, right? Anything can get changed. Hence why they're doing reshoots, right? They're doing 6 weeks of reshoots, 6 weeks, 6 days a week for 6 weeks. That's huge. That's a lot of filming. That's a lot of scenes. Marvel uses low-quality graphics-based images for storyboarding. You can see them most MCU movies. Professor X has leaked in previs storyboards. No, I understand what the previs boards are. Yeah, I 100% understand what those are. I'm telling you from a business standpoint, storyboards are storyboards. Even if it's low res, they don't have to use all the stuff. Content gets cut all the time. Trust me, I worked in the industry for almost 20 years. From storyboard, from visual storyboards to final project, doesn't mean they're always in there. There's literally chunks of stuff that get pulled. Or reshoot it all the time. I've worked on movies and music videos and TV shows where you storyboard stuff and then half that stuff doesn't even get used. Now, do I believe... Look, I'm an X-Men fan. I believe that Professor Xavier is in. I even mentioned... We were hoping that Magneto and Professor Xavier and them would show up during WandaVision in some sort of scene. So I'm 100% behind it, thinking, yeah, sure, I think it's true because I want it to be true. Like I want to manifest it. I want to believe it so much that I want it to come true. And obviously it would make sense, right? If you bring the X-Men through, why wouldn't you bring him in to start it all? It'd be interesting to see. Look, I hope the movie's good. I really do. I hope it's a success, and it kind of gives us good vibes to going forward into the as the so-called phase Shiyu or whatever they call it. The MCU. I think it's going to be Steward. It actually might be both, but I think it's going to be Steward. One doesn't simply kill Scarlet Witch. She also got her kids and Mephisto. Just saying, the story is there and would be awful if they just kill her. Exactly. Well, going from, we're watching Moon Knight before this comes out, right? Like, it'll lead right into it. Not that it's going to connect, but like a horror psychedelic Moon Knight, and then you go into watching Multiverse of Madness, could be pretty good. After watching Spider-Man, I have a little hope, more hope towards the Multiverse of Madness, but I've been waiting for Multiverse of Madness for a really long time now, right? I got excited for WandaVision because of the connection to Spider-Man, because of the connection to Multiverse of Madness. Now we're done with two of them. Now we just need that grand finale of what's it going to be? What's it going to be? Yeah, definitely going to be Stewart. I think it's definitely going to be Stewart as well. I don't know. I think that's a nod, a nostalgic type of thing. Now, I'd be interested to see Magneto. I think they have to bring Magneto in. God, I want them to bring Magneto in because I want to be right about them bringing Magneto in and then like finding out that that's her father, not the guy that we saw in WandaVision. Like, he's a real father. He just abandoned her when she was a kid. I want to know how much the plot got changed since Multiverse of Madness was supposed to be released before No Way Home, right? Never go full MCU. Yeah, no, but it is going to be the last glimmer of hope. Because look, I like Wanda, right? I like the character. I don't feel like she was like tossed in there to be like who she is. She fits that role. She fits that thing. So I'm okay there. It's the other characters that they're implementing and taking over for other people, right? I hope they don't bring back Hugh Jackman, to be honest. Logan was perfect end to the character he played. I hate to see them resurrect his character just for nostalgia. But what about if it's not for nostalgia? And this is what I said earlier, right? I don't want cameos to come in if they don't have a bigger part down the road. It doesn't mess with the story. What about if they bring Wolverine back and he is now in this universe? You know what I mean? And now he's Wolverine in this MCU. No Way Home gave me no hope for Multiverse of Madness. It's Disney. I think Multiverse of Madness is my last. Like, I'll still be entertained, but I know what this is my last, like, all right, this is what it's going to be. Because after that, you're getting a lot of replacements. A lot of replacements. I have three choices: Magneto, Mephisto, and herself. Or herself. For what? Who kills Wanda? Oh, who kills Wanda? Magneto, Mephisto, or herself? If she does die at the end, I think you have to give it to herself. I think you have to give it to herself. Because if she's going to be the most powerful person, and then she becomes lucid to understand what she's doing, to be like, what am I doing? And then kind of talk herself out of it, then she would do it to herself. I want Deadpool and Spider-Man in a movie together. Smart-ass smack talkers. Well, that would be... Yeah, but Tom Holland is not on the anywhere near the level of Ryan Reynolds when it comes to smack talking. Like the character Spider-Man, yes. But Spider-Man Tom Holland is not anywhere near the chops that Ryan Reynolds has. For just ad-libbing and stuff like that. All right. I think that's it for the night. We'll be back tomorrow morning. Hugh Jackman coming back into MCU. He's old man. The roles exhaust them. Same reason Stuart McKellen would also serve as cameos. Disney wants the characters to last for years. Right. But again, if they come back and they're not just nostalgia bait, they play a bigger part. They play a bigger part in the role, like the actual story, then that would make more sense, right? It just coming back like Sandman did or Lizard did in the movie of Spider-Man, they did nothing for the plot point. Nothing. That's literally nostalgia bait. If they come in and they serve a purpose, then that's fine. If they don't serve a purpose, like Peter didn't have to help. They didn't have to have Sandman and Lizard there, right? They could have just had the main three and moved on. But it is what it is, right? All right. That'll do it for the Endgame podcast. I do appreciate you guys coming out and hanging out with me. We are live Tuesday nights to do the Marvel news. If you'd like to submit more Marvel stuff, actually, let me post the next. Let me post the next thing up there so you guys can start putting stories. Perhaps he's already put stories in there. What's next week? That's the 18th. Got 7 days. The 25th? Is it the 25th? There we go. All right, you guys have a good night. I appreciate you all coming out and hanging out with us, and I'll see you guys tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Don't forget to hit that like button. Please hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't done it already, and I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Appreciate it.